Alright, y'all, test coming up. Algebraic reasoning. This is 3-1. Okay, so I want you to remember a couple things. F of x equals y. If it's inside the parentheses, it's giving you x. If it's outside the parentheses, it's giving you y. So if you look at number 1, all of these are giving you x. X equals -6, x equals -2, x equals 4, x equals 0. So I want you to realize this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. So x is -6 here. Now if I draw up and down, it touches my graph here, which is also at -6. X equals -2 here, which touches my graph at +2. 0 is here. Touches, oh, sorry, 0 is here. Yeah, 0 is here, which touches my graph at 6. So I was second guessing myself for a second. 4 is here, which touches my graph at -2. Okay, here, again, they're all giving you x, just a different shape graph. So x equals 0. Side to side 0 is here, which is -5. Okay, remember, these are giving you x. Find height, which is your y. Okay, so if this is giving you x, I'm finding my height. So x is 0, the height is -5. X is 1, the height is -4. X is 2, the height is -2. And x is 4, the height is 10. Okay, so now looking at these, if you notice all of these are f of x equals, which these are giving you y. Find your side to side, your x. Okay, so this is my y. So y equals -1. Well, -1 is a height here. So if you notice, it's at x equals 1 and x equals 5. Okay, y equals -5 is here. It's a height of -5 all the way across. And it touches here at x equals 3. Okay, be careful, because if you notice, it even says find x. So make sure you're paying attention. Okay, y is 11. It's up here. So it's a height here at -1. And again, here at 7. Okay, when it's quadratic or even absolute value, you could have more than one answer, so just make sure you're paying attention, like on this one. Okay, so here it says find x when y equals 6. So y is 6 here, and it's a height of 6 here, which is at -8. Okay, here's a height of 0, so it's over +4. And a height of -2 is x equals 8. Right. Okay, so here I'm giving equations. This is where your calculator will come into play. Okay, so I want you to realize f of x, so f. So I'm going to do those two problems with the f of x equation. So I'm going to come here, do negative alpha y equals enter. Remember, that's what you do, alpha y equals enter, to type in a fraction. Okay, so 1/2 x plus 3. I'm going to go to my table. Now this is inside parentheses, so this is giving me x equals -4. So x equals -4. I'm looking in the x column at 5. So x equals -4 when y equals 5. Now here, this is saying y equals 7. So I'm looking in this column for 7. So it's right here. Okay, at x equals -8. So remember, if it's giving you x, you're finding y. If it's giving you y, you're finding x. Okay, so then my next equation is g of x. So this is g, this is g. So I'm going to come here, type in my g of x equation. Square root of x outside of the house plus 2. See how I came out from under the house? The radical. Second graph. Okay, this is telling me x equals 9. So go to positive 9, and my answer is 5. This is telling me y equals 8. So let's keep scrolling. So x equals 36. Okay, now this is h of x, h of x, h of x. So in y equals, I'm going to type x squared minus 4. Now be careful, this is squared, which means I could have more than one answer when I'm given y. So where y is 32, because remember, quadratics, which is what this is, always have the rainbow. Remember we talked about the rainbow? So like you see here, you see how things match, they match, they match. So that means if I come down here to 32, x equals 6. If I go back up the opposite direction, I should get a 32 also, which is x equals negative 6. Now, be careful, they will not always be opposite. It could be like 4 and 7. You never know. Okay, so make sure you check, don't just put the opposite. And then this is where h is negative, or x is negative 1, and that is negative 3. All right, next page. Okay, I want you to know a secret. On your test, I will not be giving you equations, okay? But you can find everything here. So I'm going to show you how to find it here. Now, could you also find 2 pretty points, plug it in your calculator, and find the equation using stat? You could, but I'm going to show you the way we've taught. So if I'm giving you x, okay, x is negative 2, so f of x is at positive 4, so that's this one. So this is f. This one starts at negative 6, so this is g. Those will be labeled on your test too. Okay, so f of x is this line. I'm going to use my colors. Okay, so at x is negative 2, the height is 5. At x is negative 1, the height is a fraction. Okay, so I'm going to skip it. At x is 0, the height is 4. At 1, it's a fraction. At 2, it is 3. And at 3, it's a fraction. Okay, so really I wasn't very nice on this one. I gave you some ugly numbers. But if you notice, it is half because it's going down a half over 1. So technically at negative 1, it is 4.5. And at positive 1, it is 3.5. And at 3, it is 2.5. Okay, now g of x is this one. Ooh. Okay, so negative 2 goes down here to 10. At negative 1, it's up here 8. At 0, it's 6. Oh, these should be negative, sorry. At 1, it's negative 4. And at 2, it's negative 2. And at 3, it's 0. Okay, so I want you to realize this says sum, which means we're going to add. So you're going to come in here, and you're going to add these. So 5 plus negative 10 is negative 5. 4.5 plus negative 8 is negative 3.5. 4 plus negative 6 is negative 2. 3.5 plus negative 4 is negative 0.5. 3 plus negative 2 is 1. And 2.5 plus 0 is just 2.5. So I'm going to plot just the pretty points. So I'm going to use this number, negative 2, negative 5, because it says to graph h of x. So negative 2, negative 5, so negative 2, negative 5, 0, negative 2, 2, 1. So there it is. So if you notice, it's going up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, so on and so forth. This is your h of x line. Right, get the next one. Okay, so again, I'm going to say, so squared means quadratic, so we should know that this is f of x. So at negative 2, I can't even see what it is. At negative 1, I can't see what it is. At 0, it's 6. At 1, it's 1. At 2, it's negative 2. At 3, it's negative 3. Linear line is my linear equation, which is g of x. So at negative 2, it is 8. Negative 1, it is 7. 0, it is 6. 1, it is 5. 2 is 4. And 3 is 3. So this now says to find the difference, which means I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. Okay, now this one does give you the equations. On the test, I was better about what numbers I gave you. Okay, so remember, you could do vars, right, enter, plus, different, so minus f of x minus g of x, so vars, right, enter. You can hit graph, so that's the u that's already graphed. It's the linear line that's already graphed. If you notice, I'm going to have another quadratic. So when I plot these points 0, 0, 1, negative 4, 2, negative 6, 3, negative 6. Okay, remember, it's symmetrical, so we know it'll come back up. Now, it says find f of x, so f of x is my gold line. So y equals 6. So y is 6. Your height is 6 here, which is at 0 and 6. And then at h of x at negative 3, so that's my red line. So y equals negative 3. So height of negative 3 is down here at a fraction and a fraction. So we can just guesstimate for now. We'll say x equals a half and x equals 4.5. Oops, sorry. Okay, last one on this page is a quotient, which means divide. So this one's better labeled. F of x is gold. So at negative 2, it's a height of 3. At negative 1, it's a height of 0. At 0, it's a height of negative 1. At 1, it's a height of 0. At 2, it's a height of 3. And at 3, it's a height of 8. Okay, at negative 2, it's a height of negative 1. At negative 1, it's a height of 0. At 0, it's a height of positive 1. At 1, it's a height of 2. At 2, it's a height of 3. And at 3, it's a height of 4. So quotient means divide. So we're going to divide. 3 divide negative 1. It's negative 3. Now 0 divided by 0. It says you can't do that, so that's where our error goes. Negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. 0 divided by 2 is 0. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So it does say where is h of x undefined. I want you to realize that's where your error is. So at x equals negative 1 is where it's undefined. So the point negative 2, negative 3, negative 2, negative 3, 0, negative 1, 1, 0, 2, 1, 3, 2. So remember, at negative 1, if I follow the trend, it's going to go up 1 over 1, so this is going to be your open dot. And there is your h of x. Okay, last page. So, 14 says, given f of x and g of x, find f of x plus g of x. So f of x plus g of x. Well, plus sign means the parentheses don't matter, so we're just going to combine like terms. These are alike, and these are alike, because this has x, and these have no letter. So negative 3x plus a half is negative 2.5x, and 4 plus negative 3 is positive 1. Now remember, you can check your work in your calculator by doing this, okay? Here, x squared plus 1 plus x plus 2. So remember, plus sign means the parentheses, you can drop them. So x squared, there's no other x squared. Here's a number without a letter, number without a letter. And this is just x. So we have x squared, which has no like term. We have x, which has no like term. And 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, 16. It says, given these, find f of x minus g of x. So f of x minus g of x. Okay, use your graphing calculator, check your answer, your graph calculator tably. If not, do you see your mistakes? Okay, so you have to distribute the negative sign. So this gives me 2x minus 1 minus x minus 2. So this is like this. This is like this. So 2x minus 1x is 1x. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. Okay. Again, f of x minus g of x. So f of x minus g of x. So I'm going to bring this down. X squared minus 3x plus 2. 2 negatives makes a positive. 2 negatives makes a positive. And negative and a positive make a negative. Now I'll combine like terms. So this is squared. This is squared. This is x. This is x. This has no variable. This has no variable. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared. Negative 3x plus 1x is negative 2x. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Okay. Oh, I hope you could see that. If not, I explained it, and here's your visual. I wasn't even paying attention to where the camera is. Sorry, guys. Okay. So let's look at the bottom. Almost done. Okay, so given f of x, it says find f of x times g of x. Use your graphing calculator to check your work. So f of x times g of x. So remember, this is where we have to distribute. So this is a term. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Okay, negative x times x is negative x squared. negative x times negative 1 is positive x. Okay, so my like terms, I have a negative x squared. I have 3x plus x, which is 4x, and I have minus 3. So to check your work, you're just typing in your equation. So 3 minus x.
What?
3 minus x minus 1, and then negative x squared plus 4x minus 3. So if I come here, I'm going to go to the smaller numbers. Okay, I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. So these should multiply. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, which is what I got. 2 times 0 is 0, so this should be 0, which it is. 1 times 1 is 1, which it gives me 1. 0 times 2 is 0, so that gives me 0. Okay, here we have x squared plus 1 times x plus 2. Okay, so we are multiplying. X squared times x is x multiplied 3 times. X squared times 2 is 2x squared. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 2 is 2. So there are no like terms, and that is your answer. So we're going to come here. X squared plus 1, x plus 2. So another way you can check your work is doing your vars. y1 times vars y2, and then in y4 typing what you came up with. X to the third power plus 2x squared plus 1x plus 2. So 3 and 4 should match, and they do, so we're right. So 0, 1, 2, 3. F of x was on y1, so 1, 2, 5, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we got 2, 6, 20, 50. Okay, last one. 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. So 2x times 2x. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. 3 times 2x is positive 6x. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Well, negative 6x and positive 6x are like terms, and they cancel. So you get 4x squared minus 9. So 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3, y1 times y2, 4x squared minus 9. So this gives me 3, 5, 7, 9. Negative 3, negative 1, 1, 3. And they match, so I was right. Negative 9, negative 5, 7, 27. All right, good luck.